Bienvenidos, and welcome to the video game. Anyway, turns out that a secret race of lizard man or something. I finished Sonic Unleashed for the Wii. There's video evidence. Yes, I absolutely finished Sonic Unleashed for the Wii. I finished that game. I never have to play it again. None of you can stop me. Anyway, the secret lizard people who rule the world are apparently the ancient enemies of the vampires or something. Oh, I see. I've got to power the switch first. But yes, I beat Sonic Unleashed for the Nintendo Wii and the Xbox 360. I am an expert Sonic-a-teer. Finish Shadow Hearts? Yeah, maybe that'll happen this year. Oh, he's got swords for arms. There we go. Yeah. Oh, they have so much blood. Delicious. Well. I hate this game. I love enemies that just have infinite iframes. It's good. It's fun. Fucking hate this game. Trash. Garbage trash. What the fuck is these hitboxes? Delicious. Blood. Get on Discord. I'll get on the Discord. It's not like anything exciting's happening anyway. Hi, hello, I'm back. How goes the computer building?
He's
hello.
Pins, and
Don't
Yep.
bend
No, how
the
to get the
pins!
fan on.
Dear Lord, don't bend the pins.
Yeah, don't
Bend all the pins.
do not bend the pins.
It's
First,
fine.
I need to plug
Nothing
it.
of consequence is happening on stream anyway. I'm playing this bad video game.
Maybe you should play a better video
Have
game.
you actually like
Judo
turned around on that and
stream.
you think it's bad, or do you still think it's just mediocre?
yeah, we're all enjoying capitalism. Four masters playing for capitalism. Gino's putting together pieces of a computer that could not be possibly created without capitalism. Braden is eating a sequel that is possible thanks to capitalism. It's a capitalism off.
Which is why Brayden should be playing a visual novel on stream. And just
all your
raking
taxes.
in the viewer money. Just all
He-
the ad money from
He already
Clay.
did
Party
that.
Book of Shadows, you tell me?
I don't think I've ever seen you as sad as you were when you were playing that video game.
Yeah. Yeah, because it made me very sad.
That's why you should only play
Is-
smutty visual novels.
As opposed to visual novels that are like edgelord horror, and you're like,
If the
oh,
visual novel allowed you to file your taxes, how would you feel?
that got delisted from Steam.
I know, because it turns out it was not actually going to help you file your taxes.
It was, yeah, I just steal people's SSNs, right?
Supposedly, the creator's saying that we totally got approved by the IRS to do this, and the IRS basically said, "Fucking no."
Okay. I've learned information about this stupid fan. So,
I don't,
apparently it should come with a piece that allows you to plug both fans into one port. Almost like
that's
a Y yoke, which you would know what that was if you knew what's the term? It's a roofing thing. Never mind. Ignore the fact that I said Y yoke.
Roofing thing. So he should use some roofing tiles.
Yes, just use roofing
although,
tiles.
speaking of visual novels, y'all remember that Square put out a thing this year, like a month ago,
What they put
called what's it called? Called Paranorma Site.
That's not real.
Don't know what that is.
that's a fake name. How dare you?
No, it's a real visual novel published by Square Enix.
I don't believe you.
A video game corporation.
They don't publish video games.
Yeah, not anymore. They've learned their lesson.
Well, I mean, you've
Today
seen
they
their
make
NFT
a
product.
modest amount of money.
That thing looks like a real winner.
So that should be your next stream, your next streaming game. That's what it sounds like.
I mean, once again, I was thinking about playing Skyward Sword when I finished all the Legacy of Kain games.
Someone wants to have a good time.
Because I want to have a good
Okay,
time.
but that's like a good game though. Why would you
it's
stream
a
that?
good game. Why would you fucking
Because
stream a
I've
good
never
game?
played it.
Oh, why don't you play Twilight Princess and determine once and for all the controversy?
No, actually, that's a bad game.
Is there
Skyward
actually
Sword's a good one.
controversy to that, or is it just got another one of those with a shitty water temple?
The Dark Secret is, if anything, 8.8 is too generous for Twilight Princess.
Hey.
And I know it's fine. Honestly, Twilight Princess is totally fine. It's just
Wait, was the 8.8 the GameCube or the Wii version?
the
Oh,
GameCube has the
that's the other
8.9.
The Wii version has 8.8. The GameCube version has 8.9.
Okay, well that should be like a larger disparity between those.
Because they're just racist against right-handed people.
Yeah, and
Yo.
also
Okay, Yatsu.
Yeah.
I have a
Brave Might and
tactical
Magic 9 is
Wayo.
on sale.
Yeah.
I own
What should I own?
How do I get the?
yes.
How do I clip this thing in?
So essentially,
You're gonna make us.
there should be like
There's
You
these little
put-
clippies.
you put one in the center, and then you basically hook the clips in, and then use it as like imagine that
I
your
remember
fan
thinking,
was a
like,
piece of
Day the
Tupperware cover.
Destroyer Either.
I guess
Like a
here's
good
the
piece of Tupperware
thing I'll
cover.
make is if we ever do a grab bag of games that are
Disappointing.
bad or disappointing sequels to games we've already played for the podcast, I think Might and Magic 9 would be there. I think Grandia Extreme would be there.
Brandy Extreme's not as bad as you'd think, but it's not
It's just
good.
really, really goddamn hard.
And
Yeah.
also, like,
Which I guess is
I
disappointing.
mean, we could do
Suikoden,
Grandia 3.
whatever it was.
It also doesn't have a story. Oh, or it does, but it doesn't happen until you're 30 hours into the game.
Would Suikoden 4 be considered disappointing?
Ah! Yes?
Did it kill the series?
What about
Uh,
Suikoden
no.
Tactics?
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
Suikoden Tactics.
I forgot about
Is
Suikoden Tactics.
Is Suiko Dan in there?
He could be, probably.
So, yeah, Suikoden 4
should
and
we play
Suikoden
5?
Tactics were both like, oh, we're gonna unclutter the lore, we're gonna...
Was the lore cluttered?
Yes.
I mean, not really,
I mean,
but...
they have all these characters, Gino.
I mean, if you want, if you want to talk about the original disappointing sequel, Ultima 2 can get fucked. Fuck Ultima 2.
It's no Ultima... I mean, Ultima 8.
Yeah, we would play 8.
Of
Also
course,
what?
that said,
You're all like, oh, Calabath, it's so good.
no one is saying that. No one is saying a Calabeth is good. A Calabeth is interesting because it was made by a 18-year-old kid whose dad was an astronaut, so he had a lot of money and free time.
Yes, a lot.
Like, I just remember people saying, yeah, Ultima 2's fine. Also, that game came out the same time as Wizardry 2, and it's like, Wizardry 2 is just better.
Ultima 2
Oh, no, Ultima
has
2 sucks on its own
TIE
merits.
fighters, and that's funny.
But how else will you know about the continuing story of the Avatar, who's not named the Avatar yet, I don't think.
No.
You mean of Lord British, who was in Ultima 1.
Oh, no one cares about Lord British. They try to kill him all the time.
Oh, man. I think Jeff is going to pick Wizardry 4, The Return of Wordna.
Hey,
just
that game
because.
is very interesting
Important.
and also a nightmare to play.
It's
So-
the worst. Every single time I've tried to play that game, I can't get out of the first dungeon.
Yeah.
So,
'cause it's
Gino,
a-
did my Tupperware analogy make sense to you, and is it working?
Yeah, we gather all our friends, and then we try to trick them into joining this multi-level marketing scheme.
All right, so
So-
let me tell you about essential oils, Gino.
Uh-huh.
Does your back hurt? Of course it
Right
does.
now, yes.
What if you
I'm
rub
bending
some
over.
peppermint on it? It'll make your
This
back
is
all
not-
tingly.
This is not working. I don't know what to do with the hooks. Do the hooks hook into each other? Do they
No.
hold hands?
So basically, the hooks. Let me open up the video again. It's like the hooks basically pressure fit the
This is why I buy pre-built.
fan into the heatsink.
Yeah, you just hook it onto the heatsink. That's how
I
it
mean,
works.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I might. At
So
some point.
if you put it on the start with the one on you're gonna put on the in between, the one on the inside, and basically it's like you're closing a Tupperware lid
The lime
onto
with
the side of the heatsink.
You
Okay,
put
so
the lotion
which-
in the basket.
There are two sets of holes. There's
Yeah.
the front one
Yeah.
and the back.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Which-
I mean,
which set
you
of
go with
holes?
God. That's between you and God.
I don't think the sets of holes matters. I think it just depends on which one you're putting in.
Matters, my good sir.
Just stick it on the heatsink. Just shove it on there.
I mean, if you were to red green this, you could just use duct tape, but don't actually do that.
I've actually
And
seen
remember,
somebody do that.
if the women don't find you handsome, at least they'll find you handy.
I've met Rick Green. He's a very funny guy.
Steve Smith, I think is his real name.
No, not him. I mean Rick Green, the guy who
Oh.
plays the guy, the writer, basically.
Okay, yeah, the other series creator.
Yeah.
Is
the
Rick
one
Green the one who
never
plays his
speaks.
nephew?
Maybe.
Anyway, hi.
Okay.
I watched a lot of public television as a kid.
So,
Okay, I figured it out. Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
And
Like a
the Red Green show's great.
I don't know what the red green shows.
Oh wow.
It's a Canadian public television show that started in the early
Oh, weird.
90s, starring Rick Green and Steve Smith, and it is the most Canadian television show you will ever watch in your damn life.
I don't know. I mean, we've got a Canadian here. We've got a Canadian here.
Wait, who?
It depends on the area. So if
Who's,
you want
who's
like
the Canadian?
Yatsu's been a Canadian the whole time. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
my
shit.
god.
He's a sleeper
I've been
agent.
outed.
Anyway, I'm back. How's the PC building going?
There's a Canadian in here. What the fuck?
This fan. So, Justin, a couple of
Uh-huh.
things have happened since you were gone.
Since
Oh,
you've
no.
been gone, I can breathe.
I can breathe for the first time. So hey there, guys.
Hey guys,
Can
I've
you
been
see my
rapping with you for a minute.
I can see it, yes.
Hi.
So I built the fan. I put the fan on. Yatsu was very judgmental about the amount of paste I used.
I
He
wouldn't
said
think
it
that's
was.
judgmental.
Some
You
people
only
are
need a
rude
very
about
small
that.
amount. Only a little
At
bit.
first he said it was too much, and then he said, "No, you've taken too much away. You should spread it like peanut butter all over the CPU." And then I did that, and then he said, "No, now it's too little." So I said, "Fuck it. It seems like it's enough to me." And then I put this big heat sink on there, and then I put the two fans on, and I found the Y connector so that they both plug into the same CPU fan control. So I think my fan is on. I think I've got the fan now.
Awesome. As far as like thermal paste application, as long as it covers the entire CPU and makes full contact with the heatsink, it should be fine.
Well, so you're saying it should cover the entire CPU.
Yes.
It'll be fine.
You put a dollop on there, and then you just press the.
It did not cover the entire CPU.
You
It'll
just
be
press the
fine.
on there.
It'll be fine regardless. It's
Yeah.
true. You will be fine. You will be fine.
That
Probably.
You Will Be Fine is the name of my
New podcast series where we
But when you
laugh at
when you-
videos of people's unfortunateness.
when you put thermal paste on a CPU, you
Schadenfreude.
just put a glob on it. Not like a huge glob on the CPU. When you press the heatsink down, it spreads it across.
and
See, that's-
spread it.
Yatsu said to spread it with a thing to spread it
What?
myself.
I actually like to
Why?
spread it a little bit myself.
You'll
but
probably
maybe
need
I'm-
to part. You'll be fine. You'll be fine as long as it covered everything. You'll be fine.
And Justin, what do you think is the immediacy of you should remove thermal paste when it touches your skin? Pretty
I don't
quick,
know.
right?
Go wash your hands. It's fine.
You gotta get that shit off.
All right. What if the thermal paste gets on your areola? What do you do then? What's this procedure?
I haven't made a habit of putting thermal
Listen.
paste on my chest, so I don't know.
Listen, that's between you and your partner.
Yeah, and God.
Pure.
And
when
your-
you
So
and
God
your
doesn't want
God
anything
to do with
the
that.
gates of heaven, God
Okay,
will
so,
see
like-
that part of your life, and He will make a judgment.
So now the motherboard needs to go into the case, I think. Right?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
And
Wait,
hopefully none of
is-
the wires will get in the way of you screwing it in.
And
Is it? Wait. So is this your first build?
Second.
Oh, then you're fine. You should know what you're doing.
Hasn't it? How long has it been since your last one? A
He
decade.
said 10 years.
10.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike. Anyway, before you put that in there, that motherboard does have standoffs, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's
so
not just
I screwed them in.
okay.
I screwed them in.
Okie dokie.
Keep doing that.
So I just lift this big thing up
Uh huh.
ever so gently.
Uh huh.
Did you put the thing in the back of your PC in where all
Yes.
the plugs go? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
The I have forgotten the name of it.
Apparently it's called an IO shield.
Yes, that thing.
I just call it the metal thing with the
Yes,
holes.
the metal thing with the holes.
The
That's
metal
Oh, that
hole
thing.
thing.
Uh huh.
Yeah, make sure that's there.
Put it in.
Stick it in there real tight.
Yeah. Twist it.
You know, so far this is going
Don't
pretty
twist.
well. It's not like the time in 2012 where I had to pull out a Dremel saw to get my graphics card to fit in the damn case.
He's
Yeah, well, he's not using a 4090 where the graphics card is the case.
Like I said, I made the mistake once trying to make my own PC. Totally spaced out and didn't realize that the CPU cooler was not compatible with the motherboard.
Sounds like you should have gotten good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That and my very first build, I also forgot about Intel still using CPU sockets. Hence why I always make jokes about CPU sockets.
Which of my bags of screws?
But it was fine.
Which bag of screws is for this?
the
All right.
small ones.
I'm just happy I have an excuse to get food out of the oven in like 8 minutes. So
Oh.
I can stop playing this
I just
video
got
game
fast
for a
food for
bit.
dinner.
Let me tell you
I
about
ate-
Trader Joe's
I ate spaghetti I made Friday.
steak
Not
and
Friday.
stout pies.
Monday.
That's the nice thing about living alone is when you make too much food for one day, you just have leftovers.
No, I just cooked a whole bunch of spaghetti Monday evening and
I
then
have bad
put it all in
news.
containers and
Oh,
threw it all in the
That's the
freezer.
same when you
And all I
order.
do is take it out and throw it in the
God has some
microwave.
Acronox on sale for $1. Yes, please.
Yep. We have several
You
things.
didn't
on
already
sale
own
for
it,
Worst
$1.
Acronox?
news.
I didn't, because you guys keep threatening me with an Acronox, and then you don't pick it, and so I don't actually hit the buy button.
Anachronox.
An Acronox is
Of
wild.
course.
Anachronox is the
I have-
other game from Ion Storm
That actually came out.
that actually came out. That was Tom Hall's little baby that he made with a small
team that had
team while
discipline.
Daikatana was
Oh man.
burning.
And Brandon, Senran Kagaru's on sale.
It was on
Daikatana's
sale for cheaper
97
a
cents.
couple weeks
Didn't-
ago.
Okay, so yeah, Ion Storm. They made more than Daikatana and Deus Ex and Anachronox. They made
They made Thief Deadly
Thief
Shadow.
Deadly Shadows and Dominion Storm Over Gift 3.
So
I
the
don't know
thing
what that
is, most of those were done by the side office, the Austin
Yeah.
studio.
The other,
Mhm.
the from what I hear, the Daikatana team was spending money so stupidly that the other teams, like the Deus Ex team and the Thief team just could not keep them afloat.
Yeah, and that's why IDOS basically gave them an ultimatum and said, you need to ship a fucking video game, John Romero. And then John Romero's like, sorry, too busy driving fast cars. Woo!
Like, Dominion was given a budget of $50,000.
But
It doesn't seem possible to make a game on $50,000.
Ion Storm,
Not of that caliber.
Ion Storm is was a poorly run company. Read Masters of Doom.
I don't wanna.
It's a good.
You can't make me read.
It's actually a good book.
It's a good contemporary
Hey, Braden,
history
I read a
of.
book.
If my English professors could make me read, you definitely can.
Oh, hey, Anachronox has mostly positive reviews on Steam.
It's an interesting game. It has interesting ideas. It's you can tell that where the money ran out when they started to run out of money.
It's also one of those things where it's trying to be funny, and it's not
yeah.
nearly as funny as it thinks it is.
Yes, MIT graduates making jokes. That
Tom
was the
Hall.
thing about Ion Storm is that they were all like computer technology experts and like
and
MIT
or
grads.
John Romero.
And they had no writers. Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, well, they-
you know,
I mean, that was
Tom
the thing
Hall
about John
always
Romero,
liked
is that
all the goofy shit in Doom
Tom
and
Hall and
Wolfenstein.
John Romero were of the era of like, oh, if I'm the programmer, I'm also the writer.
Damn.
Who wrote Deus Ex? Did Warren Spector write that? Like, who was the writer on that game?
I'm sure he had some writing. I would have to look at the credits.
I'm looking it up. The writer was Sheldon Picotti, Chris Todd, and Austin Grossman. Huh? Really? Austin Grossman wrote that.
What a
So
shame.
he's the lead writer of Dishonored.
Yeah, that checks out. That lineage checks out.
So he did, if I recall correctly, he did Deus Ex, Deadly Shadows, and then he went on to Arcane to write the Dishonored games.
Like Harvey Smith.
Well, no, he actually was a part of the, Seamus Blackley Trespasser team. He started out that way.
Ooh.
Okay, I think the motherboard is fairly screwed in. Let me see if there are any screws left. Yep.
How many screws did you use?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far.
That's not enough.
I'm gonna put a 6th in.
Move the board.
Yeah, like all the screw holes need to be screwed in.
Make sure you don't miss any. But also don't screw something into that's not an actual screw hole too. Because I've seen someone do that and it's bad.
You know what I mean.
Listen, if we keep talking about holes,
Uh-huh.
I'm
Got
gonna
to
have
play-
to start
play
talking
visual novel.
about the Newbery Award-winning novel Holes by Louis Sacker,
That's what I was gonna
Okay.
say.
The hit
So-
film starring Shia LaBeouf.
So that
which was
book-
adapted into a film starring Shia LaBeouf.
So it doesn't make any sense to like have like a delinquent like reformatory camp to dig the holes. Just get a backhoe.
Yeah, no, it's meant to teach kids a lesson. Anyway,
So
you ever think about
Segregated
how
America,
the core conceit of that novel is an ancient Eastern European gypsy curse?
Yeah.
You know,
I forgot that part.
You know, for kids.
sometimes things happen.
And you know, there may or may not actually be a curse, and that's one of the whole points. But you know,
My favorite part about Holes is that if you look at the lizards in the movie, they're just iguanas.
Yeah, they painted.
They just painted some iguanas.
yellow spotted
That's
lizard.
horrible.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Okay, I think
that book is very useful. As someone who has taught that book is very useful.
As someone who's trying to find buried treasure in the desert, it's a very useful book.
I
Anyway,
screwed this in with 7 screws. That's probably fine, right?
Yeah, it's good enough.
it'll be all of
There needs screw.
There's one more screw, but it's not catching on
There's
anything.
probably a spare. Is there a hole? Is there a screw hole for it?
There's a screw hole for it, but I didn't have I didn't have the backing for it. I don't. Oh no, there's the backing.
It's probably fine.
I'm not taking this whole thing out just to put the one more screw on there.
Yeah, you've reached that point of the build where you're like, okay.
I'm pretty sure the motherboard in my computer is missing a screw, so I'd probably do the same thing. I can't endorse it though.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
Do you remember that time where I cut the power supply because I was too lazy to take the motherboard out?
I have to send this to you. I have to send this to you. Brayden, I have to send you a meme that I found on Twitter.
Hold it. I
Okay,
gotta take
so-
something out of the oven.
Okay, Brayden, I'm gonna send you
Fill
a meme.
airtime.
Okay? Are you ready for this meme?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna send this to you.
Describe the meme while he's away.
Paint us a word picture.
Motherboard is in. Now what?
Now you gotta plug everything in. You gotta plug in the... I would say
Well,
plug in the
Justin.
hard drives first.
Huh?
The motherboard is in. Do I do the graphics card now?
No, that's last.
That should be last, yeah.
Okay. So find the plugs for all the plugs.
How many? Okay, are you planning on plugging in all your hard drives into this thing?
I have 3.
You have 3. Okay, and one in .2. Where are you plugging those in at? Are they gonna go on the? Are there back places on the back for them, or?
Or are you gonna put them in the front rack?
So one of them is on. They're going to be on the racks.
I would say go ahead and plug those in because those are generally pretty out of the way.
Okay, I'm plugging in
I mean-
one of the ribbon cables.
Like
It's the only thing that will.
get them mounted and plugged in.
I feel like inevitably he's going to have to take something out to make sure something fits, though. That I feel like that always happens, and it's unavoidable.
Actually, before we do that, let's do this. We did say, how big is that graphics card? Because I would say you might want to plug the graphics card in just to get an idea of how it's going to fit and where you're going to need to run those cables.
Yeah, you're
And
also going
then-
to need to like take out the notch of where the graphics card's going to go.
Yeah, and then
So-
you can take the card back out. You should probably also plug the power into the motherboard and the CPU.
That's what
Like
I'm
you
doing.
kinda do.
I'm back.
I'm plugging the power.
Let me look at this funny meme.
Ah, I'm
Describe
plugging the
meme to us.
power.
Haha, that's a funny joke.
It's funny though, right?
I chuckled.
Explain the joke to us.
So I played
During the pandemic.
during the pandemic I streamed about 90 minutes of Drakengard 3.
Yep.
Nice.
On purpose?
You beat the first sister.
I beat the first sister and I got to the first flight section and I said, "Oh fuck this," when the frame rate dropped to single digits.
I showed Gino's like, why do you always say that Drakengard 4 is a torturous game? It's like my sweet summer child. I want to show you how you beat ending E on Drakengard 4. I sent it to
Drakengard
Gino
3.
and he was all like,
There's the tracking guard 4.
No. I mean, Drakengard 4, it's called Nier Automata.
I'm sorry. Drakengard 3.
Is it a music game, like the first game?
Yes, it is, but it's 1,000 times harder.
Great.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing you send us that.
USB plug.
USB headers and stuff. Yeah, you can go ahead and plug that
I
stuff
mean,
in.
I have great news. My
Is there?
copy of
Did your
Resident-
motherboard? Sorry to interrupt.
My copy of
Did your
Resident Evil
motherboard
4
come with
unlocks in, like,
your copy of Resident Evil 4? What?
It unlocks in like 2 hours,
Cool. Are you gonna stream it in 2 hours?
maybe. Depends on if I'm done with this fucking Blood Omen.
I'm gonna be trying to go to sleep in 2 hours. So
You're telling me you're gonna finish Blood Omen before you touch Resident Evil 4?
I'm not going to say that out loud because then I would have to commit to it.
Commit to it.
I'm just saying my intent today was to finish this game.
aren't you fairly close to into that game anyway?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
But-
I guess do it tomorrow then.
Yeah, who knows?
Your motherboard should have. some of them, a lot of them, come with a little bar that has like HD and Power Plus and Power Negative and all that stuff on it.
Yeah, like reset SW, all that shit.
Get
And if it
that.
didn't come with that, then the manufacturer hates you.
Yeah, I gotta get all those plugged in and plug that into where it goes.
Trying to plug all the things in. So let me.
Yeah, it's a bunch of tiny little wires.
If how much charge does my phone have? 14%.
I need to plug that in.
It's plugged in. I am just moving the phone to here. Okay, so I just plugged in this HDMI. Sorry, not HDMI. Is this HDMI? What is this?
No, there's no
USB.
HDMI in there.
Yeah, USB 3. I
Probably
plugged in.
HD audio.
I plugged in this power ribbon. I plugged in the CPU power. Now I am going to these little ones. This one says HD audio. So I'm
Yeah.
looking around.
That's usually towards the
Right.
bottom.
Yeah, it's usually on the bottom somewhere.
It says HD.
There should be a
audio.
diagram of your motherboard and where these things are.
Where?
Like on the
manual.
instruction manual.
In the manual.
Yeah. But yeah, usually a lot of that stuff is on the bottom of the motherboard, right above where your power supply is.
Yeah.
Sysfan 2, JB something, JF,
JP Harold
JFP,
Murder Club?
SATA cables, SATA 5, Sysfan,
But
pump
anyways,
fan.
no, yeah. Drakengard, right, Raiden?
Yeah, Drakengard is a video game I might
It's subversive art.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know
it's.
what
I mean,
I still stand by my belief that beating the final boss of Branch D is maybe my greatest accomplishment ever in video games. That, oddly enough, ending E in Drakengard 1, also another good, big, huge accomplishment in my life. But yeah, fuck that last note in Drakengard Branch
I'm trying to
D.
think of like what I am the most proud of as far as dumb video game accomplishments.
Uh-huh.
World record holder in Magic Pendulum.
I mean I do. I did at one point beat the Resident Evil remake in under 90 minutes.
Have you beaten it with Tofu?
No,
I've
the
beaten,
remake of the first game.
RE2.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
I've
have you
unlocked
done
Tofu.
Tofu?
I
The
have.
Tofu Survivor shit in original RE2 is like the hunk is already really hard, so the idea of what if you only had a knife is just like I respect that it's in here. No thank you.
The answer is you need to run around like crazy and just not die.
yeah, just get really good at juking enemies.
Yeah, it's
Which
easy.
in tank
I
controls
mean, I
is
guess
not
the
good.
real answer is like I beat Hearts of Iron 4 with Peru once. Like that's
That's not that hard. You just have to like not start any wars.
I S ranked Rage on the 360.
crazy.
My only true video game accomplishments aside from the hunk thing is all stuff I'm ashamed of. So I'm not going to tell you.
I beat Sekiro and that felt like an accomplishment.
I've
I would
never
call it an
accomplished anything in any video game. I've never even played a video game. What is
It's
that?
true, you just play shit for the 3DO.
And those aren't video games.
Legally,
Okay.
I don't think you're allowed to call them video games. They're interactive multimedia.
J- The J odd is further. It's too far. I can't reach. The cable doesn't reach.
Wait, what?
The HD. So the audio cable seems to be this one down here at the bottom left.
Yeah.
This is the audio cable.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit.
I
Is
don't
there a
know.
way you could re-feed them through to reach? Like, is
Yeah.
stuff getting in the way?
I'm trying to get it around some things.
Yeah,
me
it's
see.
this is the hilarious bit about all that stuff.
So
Or
the
what
good
if you
news-
just bought an external audio card?
So I'd say the good news is that's
Yeah, that
that's
doesn't really
just
do
front-
much.
That's just front audio. So
Yeah, you don't necessarily need
is
that.
that hold on, is that fed through the back?
Yes.
Undo that, and you'll make
Yeah.
it.
No, this one's fed through the. Oh yeah, I could if I. It fits. I got it to fit.
That's
But now putting your
that's real
graphics card in
tight.
is going to be very impossible with that
Yeah,
thing that's right
this
in there.
is real tight.
You're going to want to take that out and then just
Just unfeed it and then run it normal. Just run it straight there. The graphics card might fit over that. It'll fit over that.
It might, but
I would consider.
why risk it when you'd have to take a bunch of shit out again? So
He should try harder to make it fit.
oh no.
Like a shoehorn, just put it in there.
I think that's.
Oh, make it fit.
So does anyone know what Amazon Luna is?
It is their.
It's their Stadia.
Because apparently I've got browse from 0 free on Luna. What does that mean? Oh, it means I can only play till April 1st. Fuck that. I'm not doing that. Okay. Oh. Cool. I got a notification that said I could download Baldur's Gate. Yeah, yeah, I remember there used to be like a Twitch client that was originally cursed that had all the games in it, but then it switched to their own actual client, which is awful.
So, I've got this clump of wires
Yep.
that says,
Yep, I
You'll
can
see like reset SW, power HD.
yeah,
Yeah.
power LED.
Your motherboard probably came with a little tiny block that all of
It
those
does,
can fit
it
into.
does.
Then
Your manufacturer doesn't hate you. How nice.
yeah, then plug all those in there, and then plug that into the motherboard.
Yeah, there should be a place on the motherboard where that goes, but plug them all into there. It's basically just makes your life easier.
Well, it seems like I might lose power again next Tuesday.
Is another cyclone?
Yeah, another cyclone.
Oh shit! It's Janos Orden, guys.
There was a tornado in Los Angeles. I know that's probably not near where you are, but
It just looks like you're playing a Morbius game at this point, Brayden.
They added Morbius to Midnight Suns this week.
So you're gonna play again?
Oh no,
don't you
why
play
would they do
again?
that?
Why don't you play it for? Do it for Morbius. Do it for Morbius.
I'm gonna.
No one wants anything to do
I need
with it.
to. Well, I'm gonna
for
wait for them to
Morbius.
release all the DLC characters, so we still have to wait for
And
Storm.
Brayden, if you do it for Morbius, you can call your stream. It's Morbin time.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, that's
I
the
bet
great
if I
reason to do it.
I bet if I search, can you search for stream titles on Twitch, or is that not a thing?
It's Morbin time.
all I see is a black screen, and that's fine.
I know. I it's because I put it down because I'm trying to plug in these tiny
Good, because I
fucking
can't hear
wires.
any of the dialogue, and this is probably really important stuff.
You can
Is
mute
it though?
yourself.
Like in the scheme of things, is it important dialogue?
Probably.
All right, so there's at least 12 streams going on right now, all playing Midnight Sun, saying it's Morbin time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You should be one of them, Brayden. Hey, Borgmaster, how is that version of? How's the Saturn version of Mortal Kombat 2
Oh, fuck that thing!
compared to like the PlayStation version? Compared to the SNES version?
Okay, so the PlayStation version of Mortal Kombat 2 was only in Japan in like '97, whereas Mortal Kombat 3 came out for the PlayStation in '95, which was 3 months before Mortal Kombat 2 on the Saturn, which is hilarious. Can you think of a greater way to get owned as a console manufacturer than to get like the outdated version of a game after your competitor got the current version of a game?
I guess not. Is the answer no?
I mean,
That
I
might be
can't
right.
think of. I mean, I can't think of any worse own than that.
Okay.
But yeah, no, Mortal Kombat 2 is not a single player game at all.
No,
In any
no, the
way.
AI fucking cheats.
Yeah, I mean.
But that's every
also-
fighting game. The AI just cheats.
No, like Street Fighter Alpha. Like if you put the difficulty down, you can have an okay time. Dark Legend is fine.
I guess.
Tekken. Well, yeah.
But if we're talking about like the history of
Oh, the phone's ringing.
Mortal Kombat games, Mortal Kombat in particular has always been fucking fucked.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially like
Yeah,
in
it wants your
midway
quarters,
years.
right?
That's fucked.
this order, and the Sarafan were
It's a bad
born
fuck.
again.
The Sarafan Lord.
It's kind of fucked where you walk away from it and you don't feel good about what happened to you.
Now we come to your part.
But yeah, no, the first few Mortal Kombats were multiplayer games. Like basically multiplayer only.
Sufficient to
I figure out, is the fact that this dude blue and has wings important?
who
Yeah.
engendered this war. No, I haven't said.
So he
Is
was
this
in,
why Raziel dies?
he was in
Hadn't this all
Soul Reaver
been a
2.
hidden plot from the
Oh, was he that guy who was like acting all like, oh, Raziel, I'll hold them
Raziel.
off, and then just gets murdered?
Yeah, but the fact that he's alive in this timeline
by building a
Is weird?
magical gate.
is weird.
This is
Anyway,
the
he's
hidden
just
gate.
telling Cain, like, hey, the
Close
Seraphan
this
Lord,
gate, Cain,
he's one of
and
these
all the
ancient
hidden
lizard
within
people who
Moscow
fought against the
will
vampires
perish.
in olden times.
The gate sustains their
There's
existence.
lizard people in this series?
Precisely.
Yes.
It is their umbilical
They're the
cord to
Hilden,
other world.
And they're the
When it
ancient
is
enemy of the
closed, they
vampires,
cannot dwell
hinted
in
at
our
in Soul
world.
Reaver 2.
And so all
Yeah.
the Hilden will die, and the Sarafan
So this guy's
Lord
basically just
dies as well.
giving you all of the exposition.
Yeah. I would
Close the
still
gate
say
and kill the Sarafan Lord, Cain.
the,
Close the gate and shut the Hilden from
the
the
first
world
game,
once again.
Blood Omen 1, is the
And
only
how
game to
is
really
this to be
handle or
done?
tackle the whole
Let us
idea
go
of
to
humans.
Sanctuary. Vorador must be informed of all
Well,
that has
well,
occurred,
tackle
and a
humans
plan
well.
can be drawn to
I
finish
mean, in
this
the other two
once
games, all the
and
humans are
for
dead.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's gone. All right, so
I think he ran out
that is
of power.
gone. Let me tell y'all. Did you know that there was a hang-on game for the Saturn?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a polygonal hang-on game for the Saturn.
You were
The
wounded.
third and
There is
final
no way
It
to
must be
hang-on
know
good.
where
game.
Cain has
If
gone
it's
or
polygonal,
what he
it
is
must be
doing.
good, right?
Even you haven't been able to
There
contact
are
him.
worse racing games, but also fuck hang-on. That thing's impossible to control.
What's this?
That's the idea. It's an,
Anyway.
an arcade game.
I dare believe
Basically, it wants you to spend your money until you win.
Okay, yes, but Hang-On GP for the Saturn was never an arcade game.
Oh, well then, maybe they just hate you.
They just hate me. And it was made by Genki, the guys who made Killik, the DNA Imperative, and Robotica.
I don't
The
know what
launch
either of those
shooters.
are.
The launch mech shooters for the PlayStation and Saturn.
Oh, okay.
Sega gave the Hang-On IP to those guys.
I mean, that's probably the least dubious of the Sega decisions during that time.
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, Genki, I guess what racing games were like their calling, because they went on to do the Tokyo Highway Battle series. So, there's that. Also, Sega had a flight combat game that they developed in-house for the Saturn, called Wing Arms. It's actually pretty alright.
My sire.
It's a decent game that is
killed you.
completely forgotten.
No, far
Yeah,
worse.
when you play
But that is
everything
a story for
on a
another
console,
time.
you might find that there might be hidden
There will
buried
be
treasures.
no time
What's the
for
term?
any of us.
Hidden Gems.
Vorador, we need your counsel.
Buried treasure?
We were wondering where
Hidden
you were.
Gems.
Hidden
I've been
gems is
doing
the
what I
word I've always
said I
heard.
would do. Cain, the device.
Yeah,
Hidden
so-
buried
Destroyed
gems?
it.
Yes,
But
no,
we're now
so
facing the
some
peril even
buried
greater
gems, you
than
go
before.
digging for treasure,
How
and
is
you
this?
find wing arms.
The ancient history I will
what I'm
convey to
saying.
you in a better
Yeah.
hour, should any of us be so fortunate as to reach
Stream,
such
I
a
guess
time.
you're streaming, so
For this
now we're
moment,
analyzing
you
your
must
stream,
believe
right?
me.
Yeah, now
yeah.
we're analyzing
Your
the
enemy,
politics
our
of vampirism.
great enemy,
I think
the
Gino's
Lord,
battery
is
died
one
on
of a
his
people
phone.
that
Oh,
come
no.
from
Oh,
another
that might have
world.
actually been it.
His plan,
Yeah.
beyond all others.
Alright, so
is
since
to
it's not
bring
brain
this
stream, let's talk about
enemy
visual
race
novels.
back
So what's
into
everyone's
this
favorite
world
visual
from
novel?
which
Of
mankind
the
in
porno
another
kind.
age banished them.
Bible Black.
He must be
That's-
prevented,
God damn
or
it.
all our kind will
What?
perish.
Steins Gate or
Sire.
Umineko.
Bible
what must we
Black.
do?
He has
No
created
one's
a
favorite
base
anything is
in
Bible Black.
the Hilden city
What do you
across
mean?
the sea.
Is it
There, he has opened
2011
a
again?
gate
Are we
to
making
bring
Bible
his
Black
kind
jokes?
into
We
our
are making
world.
Bible Black
My
jokes.
plan was
Do you know
to
how
tell
awkward
us
it was
to
for me to
visit
be in
and
Wisconsin
launch a
and then,
final
you know,
assault
someone
on
pulled out
Sarafan
YouTube on their
Lord.
Wii and they're like, look at these
I
funny
find
Bible
there
Black
some kind
videos on
of
YouTube. And I'm like, what the fuck is
magic
happening
that
right now?
prevents me. If we are to
I mean,
their
just being in
Wii.
Wisconsin
that
sounds awkward.
shield
It
must
is.
be destroyed.
Vorador, where is the hill?
All right,
Saying
so
someone being from
Have any of your
Wisconsin
spies
no
brought
better
you this
than that.
knowledge?
That's against the rules. I
Uma,
could
what
ban
do you
you
know of
from
this?
this Discord.
There has been. in
I've been trying to get
recent
banned
months,
for like a month
enormous
now.
activity at the
Come
wharves.
on.
Warships and freighters loading and
All right, so
unloading
what's
in
everyone's
great
favorite
secrecy.
porno visual novel?
Our people
Be
who have
honest.
infiltrated the area and returned
Love
alive
Love.
Sengoku
have
rants.
told me that the ships
Wait, Mug Love
all
is
seem
porn?
to take the same course
it's-
out of the harbor. But we
It
do
was
not know their
originally
destinations.
yes, not the version I played, but
Do you want my actual real answer? It has to be maybe the first big stay game.
the city at once.
I knew
There
that was
you
porn.
must find and deactivate the shield. So whatever
I-
forces we
as
can bring
Braden
may
knows,
come
I
to
like
your
Fate
aid
Stay.
and close the gate for
Fair
all
enough.
time.
I didn't know that was
Someone
porno.
show me to the
Yes, it
wharves.
started out as porn,
I'll
hence
make my
why
way
the
aboard
first
one of
visual
those
novels
ships
will
that's
never
about
come
to
to the United
sail.
States because they're
When
fucking
I've
cowards.
deactivated the shield, I'll contact you.
I see.
I'm
I see.
going
All right.
with
So
you.
what's everyone's favorite category of waifu?
Sire, I know the wharves, and
this
where
I'm-
one may fail alone,
I'm not-
two may succeed.
I have no need of a guard at my back.
This is not where
You'll
Braden
find me
wanted stream to
perfectly
go.
competent for this task. I
Trying to
assure
figure
you.
out vampire politics and people are talking about tsunderes. That's not
That's
not kosher.
All we have fought for is at
Rin
stake.
Tosaka
There
is
is more at stake
top
than you
tier
can imagine.
tsundere.
Take help when
And
it is offered.
of the
Fuck
three
up.
love interests,
I don't know who that
in
is.
Fate, definitely the
prepare
better.
our forces
Brown
for
hair
the
girl
final
that wears the
attack.
red shirt or the red
Go
ribbed
well, my
sweater
child.
in
Go
Fate
well,
Stay.
both of you.
Take help where it
She's
is
the
offered.
best.
The only tsundere I
always
know
found
is
that
the
help
one from
offered
Run
when
One
not
Half,
needed
and that's all of them.
That's
There's
good.
usually
That's a
no
good pick
help
too.
at
That's a
all.
good pick too.
It's just all of them.
All of them. Well, you know.
Am I wrong?
I mean,
Borodor has said
you could
we
say
must seek
Asuka
out a
from
war galley.
Evangelion.
We should search the southern docks.
Ooh, that's a.
What are the defenses?
Oh, look, I have
choice.
armor
the
now.
heaviest of all the Seraphan.
I mean, that's just mental
outposts.
illness.
They control all trade
What's
and
wrong
all
with
travel
Asuka?
to and from Meridian.
I mean, it turns out
Might
it's
actually
A
mental
lot of
illness
things,
due to trauma.
mommy issues.
And destroyed.
Yeah.
Don't be
Like
so
actual
arrogant.
trauma, actual mental
Their
illness.
finest
Yeah.
warriors will be
She's not having a good time.
The Glyph Knights
I
are
mean,
deadly.
no one is.
We shall
Yeah, I
Show.
mean, yeah.
Tell me
That's
one
kind of the
thing
whole thing. No one's
before
having a
we
good
go.
time.
If
I'm
you
having
do
a
kill the
good
Seraphan
time.
Lord and recover the Soul Weaver,
Well, the last angel guy was having a good
You
time,
know
but
the
that's
answer to
beside the
tell
point.
me.
Then Meridian and all Nostar.
But yeah,
will become mine.
And
let's
the
say
vampire
Evangelion's off
resistance.
limits. Try again.
Whatever
That
you
suit
will.
looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or that armor.
What?
Does it have
That-
wings?
Take me for a fool.
That is a fabulous outfit. You should
Borodor has
cosplay
told me
that.
all your stories, Kane. He said that you would stop at nothing to achieve your great ambition, absolute power.
Wait, is that Kane in the
and when you
outfit?
control Nosgoth, are
Yep.
we to believe that you would let us
Oh yeah,
vampires
he's
live
well,
and do
looking
what
good.
Is
He's
this
not
girl
that-
a tsundere?
We are the only ones who could stand in your way. No, you will
She's
have to
betrayed
hunt
me.
us down and kill us.
Oh.
And how is that different from the rule of the Seraphan Lord?
I will not defend or explain
That's
my
a very
actions to you,
tsundere thing to
Uma.
do.
No
Yeah.
one, not even you, will stand in my way.
I thank you, Kane. For
Remember,
giving
like, the
us
2
this
months
chance
people
to
were
defeat
excited
the
for
Kingdom all time.
that Yandere game, and then the guy turned out to be a real piece of shit.
I shall
The
be
Yandere
one to
simulator
find
guy
and
seems
kill
like a
the
real
Seraphan
piece of
Lord,
work.
And Nosgoth shall belong to the vampires once again.
Yes, also that game is banned from
You have not the
Twitch.
smallest chance of surviving
what?
such a battle. Now,
Yeah, I mean, you're
give
just
me the
murdering
Nexus Stone, or
children.
I shall pry it from your thieving fingers as
Whoa,
you
what the-
convulse in death.
Now the beast shows his
I'm back.
true nature. And so
All right, well, since you're back, what's your favorite kind of
I wish it had
waifu?
been otherwise for us, Kane.
What? My
Gem
wife.
is his favorite kind of waifu.
Mine. The one I have.
Fair enough.
Touche.
He's got you there.
So, question. I've plugged in all the cables
Yep.
that were loose.
Yep.
All the cables are plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
I have plugged in the fan.
Yep.
I've plugged in the power supply. I plugged in the CPU power.
Mm-hmm.
Next would be graphics card or the small hard drives from my old computer.
I would put the small hard drives in first.
Gino's back. I would go ahead and put. Okay, so don't keep the graphics card in there permanently, but I would put the graphics card in to see, just to get an idea of how much space it takes up.
He might have left the room.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Oh.
I have a head. I've been talking to you on headphones the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear me?
They're my nice headphones. Thankfully, I think that the drives are the little slider that let my hard drives in the last flight. The last hard drives slid those in. I think they're the same size as the new one, so I should be able to slide them out and slide them in.
Okay, you can try it.
Okay, I'm gonna do that last because I've got easy access to those hard drives.
Okay.
And the hard drive slots. So I feel like the graphics card is probably, because I don't think I necessarily need that much help for anything except putting the actual operating system on this thing. And putting this graphics card in, if the graphics card sucks.
You got a 6600 XT, right?
Why did it zoom in on the lady's boobs?
Just because video.
Yes.
Cameras are hard.
Honestly, that's probably the actual answer. That was probably not intended.
Also, they knew what they were doing.
Wait,
It was not an attractive lady.
this may have been 8 minutes ago,
Maybe not
but
to you.
Valis became porn?
Yes,
Oh,
Valis
yeah, my
totally
dude.
became
No
porn.
ships will be sailing until
Wait,
they
what
turn
was
the
it?
line
Valis
on
originally
Zod.
porn, or am I thinking something
No,
else?
Valis started out as
An actual legitimate JRPG
side-scrolling
franchise.
action
Really?
series.
I thought. Wait, I'm thinking of something else.
You're thinking Rady.
No, I'm thinking of something else, like the PC-88 RPG pornos.
Yeah, that's
no.
Rady.
Once again, Hardcore Gaming 101 is your source for surprisingly in-depth articles about the PC 88 and 98
Lightning Warrior
wide
Rady.
catalog of Eurogame.
What's the one that Crontendo
That's
talked
not that
about?
big.
I've seen bigger.
I wish graphics cards were still that svelte.
So, do I need to take these? I need to take these out.
You need to take one of them out.
The top two are what you need to take out because your graphics card is 2 slots wide.
Oh, that's right, they're like that now.
Yeah, at least it looks like it. Mine is
Two-slot
3.
graphics card.
I wish they were smaller. Mine is large.
Taking
I
the
remember
top two
when my
out.
graphics card was like,
You remember when graphics cards didn't need fans?
yeah, there was just like it just had a heat sink on it.
Just a PCB with a heatsink. And that was your graphics card. I don't remember that because I was like 4, but you know.
I was in junior high, asshole.
My peepaw told me about it, and that was cool.
I still remember one of the funnier things, like, oh, I have a Diamond Viper 2, and it's like, what does that mean? It means that you need to find third-party drivers to make it a fucking GeForce.
Okay, so I take this out. Oh, let me put my bracelet on. Bracelet's on. So I pull it out of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Very gingerly.
Yeah, those
Wow.
bracelets are a scam.
Wow.
I mean, Zito
What?
is telling you to lick the connector. I don't know if
What do you
that's
think?
necessarily a good idea.
What
That's
are you
good
saying
advice.
wow about?
I'm saying wow because I just see the giant pieces of metal that are the solder that keeps this thing together for the heat sinking.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I just slide it into the slot, right?
basically.
Once you've got those 2 things removed, yeah, you can just slide it right into the slot.
No!
What 2 things?
I have to do another
the-
stupid fuck.
The pieces of metal in the back that are blocking the back of your, like,
Import
the
Master, I
back
don't
of
know
your case.
why someone...
So take these out.
No, the back of your case.
Intro came into my Twitter timeline, but it is...
You do have to
I
take that.
can't.
That plastic
Okay.
kit.
God damn it!
No, the back of your
Wow.
case.
Can you retweet that?
I'll put it into the video games.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'll
Are you-
reply to your links.
Are you okay there, Brayden?
I accidentally clicked out of the window and started up Underrail.
Oh, great, a better game.
Yeah. I mean,
Doesn't deserve
Underrail
that.
will kick your teeth in, but at least
At least it's, a better teeth-kicking experience.
Okay, it looks like it goes in the middle 2 slots. I can just put these slots back in after I'm done with it, right?
Yeah, you can put those metal bars back in.
Or you could just leave them exposed forever, have an extra hole.
You can also just take them all out, and it won't really be a problem.
This is the level of sophistication this game's puzzles have gotten to by the end, is what if you had to press multiple switches?
2 switches. What if there was 2 switches?
For the record, I kind of hate this game vicariously.
Oh, okay, so that's the Japanese intro, which is basically the same as the PlayStation Japanese intro for Biohazard. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's always fun.
Oh, right, the Saturn version of Resident Evil that no one remembers.
I own it on the Saturn, actually. Not the US version, though, the Japanese version.
Isn't it very similar to the PlayStation version, though?
It's basically the same
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they added some... There's like some random stuff that is only in the Saturn version of Resident Evil.
Okay, the graphics card appears to have a power slot.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
You gotta plug it into the power supply.
Okay.
Yeah, usually
I just
on the
love
top
how
there's
enemies will just
water.
randomly block and there's nothing you can do to break their block. I think
But
that's
also,
really
there's
good game
nothing they can do
design.
to break your block.
Yeah, it's good. Well, they'll break
One of
your
your
weapon.
powers. Can one of your powers not do something about that?
Nope, because the amount of time it takes to set up... Actually, fuck this.
Are you just gonna go invisible?
I'm
No,
just
he's
gonna
gonna
jump.
You're just gonna jump away?
That was like you're just gonna die.
Instead, I'm going to jump to my death. I hate this.
I'm out!
You die in the water, because you're a vampire.
Which is just, honestly, that's the stupidest trope.
Does that mean vampires can never take baths?
No one's allowed through
Vampires
here.
constantly stink.
The
Oh
folks come
no,
in and
they're
shit will be
just
sailing
all
until they
stank,
turn
and the older they are, the
lighthouses on.
stankier they get.
Yeah, and they live forever. It's a real problem.
That completely reframes Twilight.
That was last week.
Oh yeah.
There's just a musk to them. Maybe that's how she found them to begin with.
Listen, yeah, the Cullen's got that booty stank.
There's so much Axe body spray.
This is welcome to arbitrary headcanon.
Anyway, they actually just take blood showers. Like in the first Blade.
They groom themselves like cats.
There you go.
But blood is water.
Yeah, that's what a cop would say.
How do... Blood is just made of water.
When blood dries, it smells like so. That would just end. It's still the same thing.
No, what I'm getting at is blood is just water. How are they not just like exploding from within all the time?
Maybe they are.
Listen.
This is why applying Newtonian laws to fun fantasy things is bad, and you should feel bad.
Never felt bad in my life, and you can't make me start now.
Vampires dying from a little bit of water just sounds stupid regardless, so...
Listen, it's all about Victorian sexual mores.
And how cool they
I
are.
mean, most of these tropes come from, like, folk tales before then.
And then
So am I to
also,
believe that Victorian bisexuals really hated garlic?
absolutely,
Yes.
Oscar Wilde just kidding. Oscar Wilde was notably full homo.
Yes.
That man was very gay, and listen, I don't know if you've ever seen The Importance of Being Earnest, but the subtext in that text is in fact just text.
So, who is everyone's favorite very gay Victorian author? Wait, she was Victorian?
Virginia Woolf was very bi, and she was.
I thought she was after
Victoria
that.
died.
I'm trying to remember when she wrote stuff.
I think at a certain point, you're just arguing
Listen,
semantics.
she had gals who were pals, and you know.
I mean, that whole writers group were boning.
Hey, she had very good friends. Okay, they were good friends.
Listen. They were all very good friends, and they would sleep in the same bed, and people would be like, "Ha ha! 'Tis quite amusing, these women with friends. I'm off to send more orphans to the factory."
Oh, no.
What was that? Just
plug-in? Is that the only power plug-in for that GPU?
That's all I see.
Also, can I see that power supply real quick? It was a 750 watt tough power off thermal take. Okay.
I hate this.
Yeah. It seems to be working. Or it seems to have enough holes.
I feel like this game would have been so much better if they just found a way to make the combat not suck.
Yeah, no, well, they hadn't invented good combat in most video games in 2002. Like Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry was out.
Yeah, but Devil May Cry
Also
was
not this kind of game.
But I feel if they just, let's say if they gone the absolute least effort route and just literally copied Mario 64 where you just punch them to death and it works fine. I think that would still be better than what this is.
Medieval was out. I don't know.
I really like the idea of Raziel going woohoo and just punching them to death.
What if Kane just spun like Crash Bandicoot?
Woohoo!
That'd be a better game, actually.
What if this was just Crash Bandicoot?
I mean, we could go like Crash Bandicoot. Heck of a game. Crash
Bandicoot 2, greatest.
And by that I mean Crash Bandicoot 2 is a heck of a game, and I think Crash 4 is quite good, unless you're going for 100%, at which point it's a...
Crash Bandicoot 2 and Crash Bandicoot 3 are the standout games in that series. I have played a little bit of 4, I couldn't get into it. I think part of that is because I'm not, 7 years old anymore, but, yeah.
You again? Password.
Just go back to tradition.
Yeah.
B7.
They did go back to tradition, and then they maybe overcompensated by making a game for the people who said, unironically, that the Crash Insane trilogy was the Dark Souls of platformers.
Oh no.
Like, trying to get 100% in Crash 4 is an exercise in absolute pain.
I feel like it's bad in all of the Crash games, though.
Yeah.
It's like, where did they put
doable
these
in
boxes? Great. I need to find this obscure box.
Okay, so it's a lot less bad in Crash 2 and 3. If you play Crash 1 and you're like, this is way too fucking hard, I would understand where you're coming from. But 2 and 3 are way better about how they do difficulty. So, like, if you die 12 times in the first game and give up, just skip the first game.
I'm going to doubt that, but I can't confirm that doubt for another few years.
You're going to play the original PS1 version of Crash 1, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, in like 6 years when he gets to Crash Team Racing, be a great time.
Listen, I finished Crash Bandicoot 1 as a kid. I don't recommend it.
Noted.
It's not like the worst experience ever. Like, I'm not telling you it's an awful piece of shit or anything.
There were worse platformers for the PlayStation 1.
It is
in the same year.
In 1996.
It is extremely unforgiving.
But yeah, Crash 1, don't fuck around.
Also,
it's from the people responsible for Way of the Warrior.
That's how you know it's
for
good.
The Jaguar.
For the 3DO.
That game is bad.
Spoilers.
Yeah, but it's very funny because they apparently shot a lot of the footage for that game in Jason Rubin's apartment. And just had a green screen or a blue screen.
So how are you determining? Are you gonna play every PS1 game or
every
North American?
But also, you will still die because there are a lot of games released for the PlayStation.
What's the
in North
current
America.
timetable for you looking like right now?
Everything together, late 2030.
Sick.
Cool.
That's gonna be like 2,200 games total.
I've got my old hard drives now.
Hey.
Timetable safe for the 3DO.
Late next year.
Thankfully,
I always assumed that the 3DO only had like 30 games.
No, that's a Jaguar.
The 32X only has like 30 games.
Yeah.
And they're all fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Some of them are okay, but most aren't.
The version of Virtua Racing on the 32X isn't that bad, if I recall.
I mean to suggest that the 32X may have made a good first impression and then fell apart after.
No, the 32X made a bad first impression.
No, the 32X was dead on arrival.
The 32X
pretty much.
is... You want to know why Sega fucking fell apart during the Saturn and...
There are so many reasons.
There are so many reasons. The 32X was one of them.
The 32X wasn't even a blip. It didn't even contribute.
Yeah. At least the Sega CD had like 1 or 2 games that you could say, well, these are decent games.
Yeah, they got Lunar.
Yeah, Lunar 1 and 2. That Dark Wizard game is okay.
Yeah, make my video starring Marky Mark and the Funky
purely
Bunch.
based off of their adventure games.
That particular game is awful.
The Windows PC, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if you judge sports based entirely off of their video games?
I mean, I saw Pandemonium's video on Mike Ditka's quarterback commander, whatever the fuck that game's called.
Quarterback attack. Get it right.
Yes. I would hate to besmirch the good name of Digital Pictures and Mike Ditka.
Mike Ditka will find you.
He will.
He will, and he'll hurt
He
me.
has a gun.
I think that hard drive caddy might not work in there.
It don't. It don't.
Look, Digital Pictures had a habit of grabbing former child stars right before their lives went off a cliff, and it's very dark.
Yeah. You know,
Like Dana played on Corey Haim in back-to-back games.
in
the
their
early
defense, most of Night Trap was shot in the 80s.
Yeah,
For
true.
a...
But that's the late 80s, which
Yeah.
her life was already going off a cliff in the late 80s.
But, Corpse Killer.
Hey, Corpse Killer is at least funny. Like, they got an actual character actor to just, like, cheese lines to the camera. And that's alright. It plays like ass, but that's alright.
I'm gonna Jokerify their idea of how do we make the last couple levels challenging is, we're just gonna put guys who just block everything you do.
So
Is it what if we just annoyed you as much as possible?
So what you're saying is, don't do combat. The combat's pointless.
I mean, I'm breaking up my speedrun strats for this, yes.
That goes to my philosophy for game combat, where if it's not necessary for progress or doesn't get to experience, just run past them.
I did that in Mass Effect 2 today, and it was sick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Though in the Mass Effect games, they usually like gate your progress.
Yeah, they usually make you do the fight anyway.
Like
There
modern
was
games
one
are good
section
about
that
that.
didn't.
Oh, yeah.
There was one section that didn't.
Yeah, it
And,
doesn't always.
it was the Overlord DLC.
Oh,
There was a
God.
set of
Yeah, hey,
the Overlord
Gino,
area.
you liked the part in the Overlord DLC where a person with autism was used to make a computer to talk to the Geth? And they're like,
his
oh,
autistic mind.
Yeah, his mind is so incomprehensible that it could understand the strange workings of the Geth. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
They actually did that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hey,
Yeah.
hey, you know
And
what?
they were,
2011
they were like,
was a
no, this is
different time.
autism. They're like, this is autism, and we're plugging it in.
In 2010,
so-
no, nobody wrote about it.
So, Yatsu. What they say is, my brother's autistic mind is as foreign to me as the Geth. Maybe
Oh,
he
no.
can talk to them. And then he starts going, and then he's like, tell the Geth to sit, and then he goes, and then the Geth
Yeah,
sits.
and by the way,
his
this-
autistic
this-
mind.
Yeah, it's
He's
like
like
a
a
But he
robot.
computer.
literally just says gibberish.
He
And
says
here's-
gibberish, and when he speaks in not Geth, he says, not 300 and something .1. The square root of that is 30.1.
Yeah, because he has the autism, and as we all know, Rain Man is. I can't even
documentary.
like that shit makes me so angry.
Hey,
I
look.
feel
look.
like they've
Look,
never
look.
done a good when they've put that in something, they've never done it well. Just never done it well.
No one knew what
Hey,
autism was before the year
remember
2015.
when? Okay, here's another one. Dorian in Dragon Age Inquisition. At one point has a thing where his dad used blood magic conversion therapy to try to make him not gay.
So you see, Yatsu, on top of the brother speaking Geth because he's got autism, they then hook him up to a machine so that he becomes a VI. And by making him a VI, they plug. So his eyes are kept open with like fucking Clockwork Orange things. Clockwork Orange things. His eyes are kept open, and then his mouth has tubes down it, and he's got a like head clamp on his head, and he's screaming.
And this guy likes his brother?
You can.
So the
guy's a mad
Paragon
scientist.
choice is
Like,
to
let's
mercy
be
kill
clear.
him.
My brother is like a lab rat, but a well-fed lab rat.
Well, no, the guy's a mad scientist. Let's be clear about
You
that.
do get to call him out on it, and also worth noting in the third game you can come across him in one of the I think it's the school that Jack is teaching at for some reason because he's a good teacher clearly. And he seems to be doing okay there. But like.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
if you're not
you
hooked
have
up
to
to a
free
machine that's putting you into a constant like pain scream, then everything looks pretty good.
I mean, but if anything, if most people were connected to that, they would be traumatized beyond the point of living a normal life.
Well, he's not because he's
He's special.
autistic.
Because he had a fucking video game written by BioWare in 2012.
Yep. This terabyte drive does not seem to fit in this.
What do you mean?
So like, here's the tray.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Do you need to use a tray?
Are there any? Is there? Okay, remove that caddy in it. That's for like SSDs or 2.5-inch drives.
Yeah, I think you could probably just put it in the tray in the front. Like you don't need that thing around it.
Need the
Yeah, the
You
caddy.
can put it on there. You probably have to bend it out a little bit. Does it have like little nubs in it that go where the screw holes are?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you have to work it in there some. Like, don't break it. You could probably still screw it in there. It's gonna be a lot easier to get this in.
Yeah, but like being reminded of the Overlord DLC and how fucking terrible it treats that entire issue. As someone who is quote unquote on the spectrum, I'm like, oh fuck this.
When
Yeah, it's the worst.
Also, they bring in a new vehicle sequence and it's bad.
No, that vehicle's not bad. That vehicle's fine. The Hammerhead's fine.
it's better. It's not great. When it comes to DLC, Mass Effect 2 is pretty much the opposite of 3. They probably shouldn't play the vast majority of it.
No, that's not true.
That's not true, because Shadow Broker.
Shadow
Shadow Broker, which is fine, I guess.
And Kasumi.
No, Shadow Broker's like one of the best examples of DLC genre.
Kasumi should have been in the main game, but yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Kasumi
Yes, also.
stuff.
And the weird stuff about Kasumi is just like Zaid, she's not a full party member where you can't talk to her.
Yes.
Yeah.
She just kind of hangs
I don't
out.
even think that's big of a deal, because for me, Zaid and Kasumi are kind of like how characters worked in Mass Effect 1. the ultimate thing where when you talk to them, depending on your place in the story, they say different things. But
Wait, but there were full
that-
conversations in Mass Effect 1. That's when one had full
Yeah.
conversations.
No, not everyone had full conversations.
All the party members did.
I do think it's disappointing that you don't get to talk to Zai and Kasumi as much, but there's still a lot of dialogue for them if you go to their rooms.
Yeah,
Zaid's
like they
stuff
will
in the
still
apartment
react to
complex
stuff
is
you do.
great. Yeah, Zaid's stuff in 3 is awesome.
Oh, the whole, like,
Especially when you
apartment
do the
storyline,
apartment- Yeah, his apartment storyline is great.
What did they do with Kasumi in 3? Did she
I
even
do
show
not
up?
remember.
He
Yeah,
goes on a
yeah.
panty raid in the apartment.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, he tries to find your underwear.
Oh yeah, she
No,
does.
not in the party DLC, but like, can you find her like you can Zaid?
Oh yeah, you find out what happens with her boyfriend. Yes, you find out.
Yeah,
her
her dead
boyfriend.
boyfriend.
Her partner, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to get this thing to get in there, but
Let's
it's
try
really
that
not
direction back up.
easily.
All of
Can
the
you show
puzzles
me-
in this game are tedious
show
as
me the
fuck,
hard
and I
drive?
hate them.
Oh, someone doesn't like.
Shut the fuck up! Go back to playing Deathgate, you pervert.
Okay, so it looks like it's in there, but it doesn't go in all the way.
It's all the way.
I mean, it's a spinning drive. You don't really want it shaking.
I mean,
yeah.
if we're gonna be honest, video game puzzles have always sucked.
And this cable is not gonna fit.
No.
Back in my day, I pushed blocks,
you can
and that
switch
was
it.
good.
Well, no
Actually,
shit.
put it in the other way.
Yeah, switch the spots there. Yeah.
Yeah, basically like
Or put it in from the back.
yeah, put it in from the back and plug it in from the other side, because that's how I had to plug my hard drives in.
These are all standard drives, so it should fit.
It won't. It's not coming out.
You squeeze the two sides and pull.
I'm squeezing the two sides.
Oh,
You
jiggle
gotta
it.
squeeze harder.
Squeeze and jiggle.
You know what? All good advice.
Listen, if someone would like me to squeeze and jiggle,
Things that are left.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
No, did I say the wrong thing?
No, I don't think so. I think you just.
Listen,
So how much is that going to cost?
I'm gonna die alone. That's how much that's going to cost.
Oh.
Is
Squeezy
eternity-
jiggle.
a lifetime of
works.
sadness.
This terabyte drive. I mean, I don't need it to be in there. I guess.
No, you paid for it. Put it in there. Fuck it.
I mean, this is my old drive.
If
But
it's,
it's-
if it's that mechanical drive, then
Yes.
just leave it out and plug it in with the USB cable when you need it.
Yeah, buy like one of those
My
toasters.
my computer was a little bit faster when I got rid of my mechanical drive because the rest of your computer is going to be tapping its foot, waiting to catch up on that mechanical drive.
Yeah. So the mechanical drive just has all of the old podcasts
Then
and some
then
files.
Really no value.
then get a yeah. If you're really worried about it, get a caddy for it and treat it as an external
I mean,
drive.
if you want just raw, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, this is it's a 10-year-old 1 terabyte drive. It's like not a big deal.
Any
It's a matter of how many more years
just
you got on.
real quick. Any drive older than 5 years old is something you shouldn't trust with your data. Like, it's fine to use it, but you need to be aware that it could die at any time, and you could lose anything on it.
Well, didn't an article come out that like hard disk drives are actually getting more fragile over time because the amount of effort put into making them last longer is decreasing by the minute?
It depends
This
on what
one's
kind
10
of
years
drive.
old. So.
It
Yeah,
depends
I
on
would
what kind
say
of
you're
drive you're
rolling the
buying.
dice on that.
Yeah. It depends on what kind of drive you're buying. If you're buying a kind of server meant for a NAS or an enterprise level drive, it's going to be pretty dependable.
Okay, so this just goes into SATA. Okay, so
Typically,
SATA.
you're gonna
plugged
want to
in.
have your main drive in SATA 1 just to make things easier when you boot up. But you could always switch it in the post.
And I would assume that when you install Windows, you're going to make the M.2 your main drive.
Yes.
All right, Brayden,
that's true. I forgot those are
is this
separate.
combat necessary?
Yes, I appear to need to fight those two dudes in order to go through the door.
No.
Do you have to use
I'm just gonna continually emphasize, I strongly dislike this game. In a way I was not expecting.
I knew you were gonna dislike it.
I mean,
I knew this was the bad one, but
I think you were expecting mediocrity.
Well, the problem is, like, 4 or 5 hours of mediocrity is kind of like, but when it goes to, like,
At this point,
hours of it,
at this point, it's supposed to be going from mediocrity to just fucking needlessly difficult nonsense and repetitive simple puzzles.
Yeah, this seems bad.
like,
have you tried getting good?
so the thing
I did not
about
play this
Soul
game.
Reaver 2 is Soul Reaver 2 is like a less interesting game than the first one, and a lot of it is running through the same handful of environments 3 times. But also that game is 7 hours long, and has a bunch of really good writing and cutscenes. And this game,
I'm interested to see where you lie on the spectrum when it comes to Defiance.
I would like to see the end of these. Because
it can't be any worse than this.
And I was also thinking about
not
when I finished
worse,
this, doing like a write-up for the Patreon about like, I played all the Legacy of Kain games.
Defiance is just frustrating. It's just really frustrating.
Yeah,
you feel
I
like
hear
they
the
were
camera
very
is
close.
bad, so...
You really feel like they were close to making a good action-adventure game. And then,
But they didn't.
well, they went with fixed cameras, and that's...
I do like the solution to combat. It's like, oh, combat's too easy if it's one-on-one. What if we just put a second guy and suddenly it becomes way worse?
Okay, so the things are together. I think.
All right.
I've got the CPU, the RAM,
Motherboard power plugged
the,
in.
the graphics card, the power into the SATA.
Yep.
These plugs, these little loosies, they're plugged in.
All your fans are plugged in.
Yes, the 2
The ones on
fans
the-
are plugged in.
Case fans?
Do you
Yeah,
have
the
any
2 case
buttons
fans.
Do you have a
in front of
rear?
your case that need to be plugged in?
He's
Or
got
you
the.
just
The
plug
buttons
in?
are plugged in. Buttons
Yeah.
are plugged in.
I think
HD
he
audio is
missed
plugged
one
in.
screw is the most that we've been. Is he
Yeah.
Yes.
forgot to do the back screw.
Is there a rear fan?
No,
Okay.
no. I've plugged in all of the fans that exist.
We did tell him
Yes.
about the idea of an intake and an outtake fan.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this hard drive, this terabyte drive, back in the old case, or back on the old. I'll put it on the old computer. I'll deal with
Screen is
that later.
black. We cannot see.
I know. I'm literally just carrying it to another room.
See y'all.
Bye. So yeah, I've got
I'll need
the
it.
plugs here.
I'll need to dip out soon. I just want to see if it turns on.
Did you plug in the little speaker that makes a beep?
What?
You don't need
A
to.
lot of motherboards don't even come with one these days.
Those cheap bastards.
Okay.
It's good to have when you're first turning them on, so you know if it posts or not. But I guess you could just plug it into a monitor.
An LED light would suffice, to be perfectly honest.
Okay. Let me. I'm gonna try to put the case back on.
How
Close
does
up
your
the
wire
case.
management?
It looked a little messy, but it's gonna get the job done.
It's fine. It's better than my
Listen,
last one, honestly.
Listen, my computer is just everything's just tossed in there. So I picked a corner and shoved all the wires in there, and that's all.
Yeah, I mean, just make sure that none of the wires are touching anything that gets even reasonably hot. But
Yeah.
it'll be fine.
That's just everything
gonna-
inside that PC.
We meet
Everything gets hot at one point.
I'm gonna
He picked a
use
good
this.
case. I want to say that. Like his case is
Mm.
fine.
I thought you were to
Sorry.
bring the
Was
Sarafan
it
Lord to his
fractal?
knees.
Did you just pick everything? Did you just pick everything that I threw together in 10 minutes?
That and the I got one fan.
I was wrong.
Okay.
The fan I got myself.
Carry the fight
Okay.
alone.
The
Did you just kill that vampire lady?
No, she got jobbed by
Kane,
regular
I'm
dudes.
dying.
Yes, you are.
I need you.
Putting one more twist tie on
Please, you can save me.
I know.
because one cable was bothering me.
Tell me, child,
Okay.
Do you see me ruling Noska?
I wanna see what happens
Yes,
when it goes
I
on.
see it now.
And do you believe
I
that
wanna see
Noska
this.
rightly
I
belongs
trust
to
you.
me?
I trust that
I
Gino
do.
knows how
I
to
believe
has
it,
done
Kane.
everything
Please.
correctly, and it's all gonna go okay.
Then you may
Nothing's gonna
die,
blow up.
knowing the truth.
I mean,
I made my. I talked about my mistakes.
things growing up is
You should
usually
never have betrayed me.
just
No,
'cause it's
I will
static.
say this.
Could have
I
been
had
my
someone who
queen.
put the wrong PSU with their graphics card and fried everything.
Now
That was my roommate in college.
you have left me alone.
Oof.
The wattage was not the right wattage for the GPU, and he fried
Oh,
it.
thank God. I think I'm almost to the last level.
So how many?
I mean, these
how many
days,
hours?
these days, you just have to make sure you have enough wattage. Like,
Yeah. Back in the day, if you went way over, you could fuck everything up.
I distinctly remember being at a dumb convention where it wasn't a convention. It was like some sort of like Unreal tournament.
You shouldn't have gone to a dumb convention.
Yeah.
That's a place where stuff will happen.
Yeah. But anyways, it was some Unreal tournament. And you had to bring your actual fucking computer, and that was back when monitors were big fucking boxes. Because I'm old.
I love an old CRT monitor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was for Unreal
I
Tournament
had-
2004.
I had CRT monitors for a while, and I'm not that old.
I mean, I
Yeah,
had a
there was a dude there who just kept on frying his power supply and buying a new cheap power supply and then frying it in 30 minutes. And he was like, "Why isn't this working?" Well, I mean,
That's awesome.
Don't buy cheap
That's a
power
king.
supplies.
That's a king. That's a guy who's like, I got money to spend. I'm winning this Unreal Tournament competition, and I will spend any amount of money to do it. But I
he
will
needs a new
not.
power supply after every match.
Yes. These are single-use power supplies. One game. That's it. I'm too good at Unreal Tournament. It can't keep up with me. These power supplies.
That's a flex.
It is. That's a powerful flex.
Alternatively, he was playing so well. that motherfucker. Alternatively, that was motivation to win because he needed to pay off that credit card.
Yeah.
Alternatively, yeah. And I'm sure there was a huge payout for a Unreal Tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Huge cash prize.
It definitely wasn't like
For funsies.
funny money.
No.
I honestly don't
People
remember. I didn't win the Unreal tournament, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, you were using old-fashioned multi-use CRTs. The competitive players were using the high-quality single-use.
I was eliminated by a literal child with a red-headed afro.
Yeah.
Speaking of single-use things, did any of y'all? Did you hear our discussion of Elvis on the podcast that went up today?
I did. Not a big fan of Baz Luhrmann, I take it, Gino?
No, it's not
You
a
don't
good
like
movie.
Moulin Rouge?
I love Moulin Rouge. That's the thing. I love Moulin Rouge. It's one of my favorite films.
You like when Baz Luhrmann made a film about Australia called Australia?
No.
It was 3 hours
I don't know
long and
anything
had
about that.
Hugh Jackman.
The funny anecdote I was going to tell about Elvis is that, are you aware of the fact that the actor in Elvis
Austin
can't
Butler?
stop? He can't stop speaking like Elvis.
This is why method acting is for chumps.
He spoke like Elvis for like 3 years, and so now he can't stop. He just sounds like Elvis.
Yeah, that
Maybe
sounds
he's
like a
just been
problem.
possessed by the spirit of Elvis, and no one knows.
That sounds like a bit.
He's a single-use actor. He learned
Method
one
acting
role.
Yeah, method acting is for chumps. Just read your lines. Don't be like, oh, what would Elvis do in this situation? Elvis would do drugs and
eat bad
sandwiches. And then be very constipated.
Bad sandwiches.
And also probably have someone.
And be like, that's just the noise he made.
Yeah, it's just grunts.
Give a gun to Richard Nixon and be like, I can help you solve the crime, Mr. President.
You should watch Agent Elvis.
I thought you were gonna say I should watch Bubba Hotep.
No,
no
that's
one should
also
watch
good.
that.
But Agent Elvis it's a show on Netflix right now. It's out right now. That was made by Priscilla Presley about Elvis being a secret agent. And it stars Matthew McConaughey as Elvis.
Oh no.
What's her name from It's Always Sunny? The woman from Always Sunny.
Yes.
One of the
She's-
three
one who
women
plays
in
Dee?
It's Always Sunny.
The woman who plays Dee.
Okay. Caitlin something.
It stars Olsen. Caitlin Olsen. It stars her. It stars what's his name? Oh, from Jackass. Johnny Knoxville.
You got the power in. You got take all those plastic things out of the graphics card before you turn.
Like, look, I can speak like Elvis, and I'm not a method actor. Like,
I also have.
Maybe you're secretly a method actor this whole time and you didn't even know about it.
So,
You really good.
I know of someone who forgot to take the plastic casing off their GPU when they put it into the computer.
if that was true, then women would be going awash
Yes.
You did
Yes.
you did remember to take the plastic off
at
that.
the scene of my hips shaking seductively.
You did take the plastic off that GPU before you. Okay, good.
You really painted a picture there, right?
I know
There's a literal scene in the movie Elvis, which I have seen. I saw the scene. I have not seen the film itself. Where basically at one point the movie has to explain like why seeing a man shake his hips and do pelvic thrust was like, oh, this is so transgressive.
Because they're all licking their lips and biting them, and then they basically just like start touching themselves on screen.
Yeah, listen.
It's
What?
You know what?
I don't know if
It's
you know
not
this, but
even-
in the 50s, women would just come at the mere sight of anything resembling male sexuality. Because
he's what?
Unfortunate.
Hey, I have a question.
yes,
Yeah.
My internet shit itself right after I did.
it's fine. We just
hey,
talked about
check it
Elvis.
out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, Harley.
Well, I was gonna say I offered in a fun Elvis fact, and then my internet shit itself, so I wasn't sure if that actually came through or not.
Just
I
like
think-
Elvis.
The estate of Elvis knew you were going to reveal something, and then they assassinated your ISP.
It's just,
I don't have
it's
that.
just like Elvis.
Alright, we'll turn it off and go get it to a monitor so you can get everything installed.
So is
I'm
that
trying
a
to.
no? My fun fact.
Hold power button.
It did not come through.
It did not
Oh,
come through.
cool. One of the things Elvis did at least once was he liked to give people loaded guns and then tell them to try and shoot him so that he could show how to disarm an armed human being using karate.
Yeah,
That
that-
sounds like a poor
That
life choice.
absolutely sounds like something Elvis Presley would do.
Okay.
I learned about this because in an interview with Alice Cooper, Cooper said that was something Elvis did to him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
this
so-
all checks out.
And so he, Cooper was just stood there, you know, in Elvis's fucking house holding this gun, thinking to himself like, God, I could be the guy who killed Elvis. And
Oh,
then,
he's offering me a Monte Cristo. Oh no.
Yeah. Turns out Elvis is the only one who could have killed Elvis, though, because he was too good at karate.
and then in the time it took Alice Cooper to think that thought, Elvis fucking did like a jumping spinning kick and like almost broke his fucking hand.
This all sounds like things Elvis Presley would do. Which is why there needs to be, let's say, a 3-hour film chronicling his life.
There's no karate in any of.
What a fucking travesty.
Did you know they made a movie about when Elvis gave Richard Nixon a gun?
Well, I think that's the next episode of Agent Elvis. So, the first episode, he what did he do in the first episode? He killed a guy. He killed a lot of guys. He met what's his name? The The recluse who made flames and peed in jars.
Howard Hughes.
He met Howard Hughes in the second episode, voiced by Jason Mantzoukas.
Uh-huh.
That's a fucking name.
And Howard Hughes in this show's canon was exposed to radiation because he made a nuclear plane.
Uh-huh.
And oh no, he wanted Spider-Man powers. He wanted Spider-Man powers, and the spider did not give him superpower. It didn't make him Spider-Man, but it did give him incredibly long, uncuttable nails, and urine that is acidic, highly acidic. So that's why it's in the jars, to stop the pipes from melting. So he kills a man by peeing on them and cuts their head off.
Yeah, that sounds like
as you do.
This
It's
all
adult
sounds
animation.
like a television show on Netflix that I've never heard of until now.
Yep, it's the animation style is very good. I don't know what to do with it emotionally, because I want to like it, because I like a lot of the people that are in it. But I don't know if it's any good. Also, I like the idea of Priscilla Presley being like, you know how I'm gonna honor my late husband? This is the show he would have wanted.
Listen, there are a lot of shows on Netflix starring people I ostensibly otherwise. God damn it! I ostensibly otherwise like, that are terrible.
Oh, I need to get Windows onto a thumb drive, I guess.
Yeah.
And then follow instructions on how to boot it. And it looks like this new computer does not do, or this new graphics card only does HDMI. So I'm gonna need to find a bunch of HDMI.
It should have display.
I'm about to say that thing that has DisplayPort plugins. There's no way a graphics card that came out like a year or two ago does not have DisplayPort plugins.
Also, yeah,
All the
you
plugs I
might
checked
have,
out
your computer might be more
He might be
powerful
used to
than mine.
DVI if his last computer is 10 years old.
Oh crap!
Yeah, these are all.
Can you show us the back
These
of
are all
that graphics card? Okay, so if it has one little, if it's flat on one side and has a notch on the other on the port, that's a DisplayPort.
It was very simple.
If it's asymmetrical,
Typically,
then
it'll
it's
have
display port.
at least one HDMI port.
Anyway,
Show us your ports.
any port in a storm, am I right? Home, me sailors, me hardies. That anything?
Yep. Nope. But good try though.
All right, so it looks like those are all DisplayPort.
That's three
That's
DisplayPorts.
one.
That,
One of them is HDMI.
Yeah, it's DisplayPort, HDMI, DisplayPort.
But if your monitor does more than 120
20. No, it's
hertz, you'll need DisplayPort.
HDMI generally doesn't do more than 60 hertz. The latest revisions of HDMI can do 120. But on a PC, all the display ports are going to be the higher refresh rate ports.
My oh sweet, my monitor doesn't have the display port. It just has HDMI and this fucking thing.
Well, you only have the one
HDMI
monitor.
is.
You only have the one monitor, right?
Time to have two
Have two.
monitors. Live the two monitor life, Gino.
That left monitor, I believe that has a display port. I think I have a monitor like that.
I have two monitors right now. I'm using
I
one to
also-
look at the chat, which
I also
hasn't
have-
had anyone post on it in hours.
It's because everybody watching is
Because everyone's watching.
It's true.
Not a good game.
What the fuck just
I mean,
happened?
Reinhardt basically just mentioned porn and pieced out.
What happened with
The
porn?
game crashed. The game fucking
Oh, yeah,
crashed.
Did it actually crash, or did it?
It crashed.
Like this wasn't. This isn't a bit. It's just like fuck you, crash.
That boat meet Joe blacked him, and then the whole game.
How
crashed.
far? How much progress did I lose?
Does this
Oh,
game have
this is
auto
all of it?
My
save?
favorite
Oh,
game to play when a
cool.
game crashes is like, oh god, how much did I lose?
All of it.
Wait, are you back? Are you back from the beginning of when you
I have
started
lost-
playing this?
I have lost 2 hours of progress. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm glad I have beaten
Hey,
Blood
I
Omen
might
2.
stream. Brayden, I might stream.
Okay.
Give me a minute.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, there's no Vizio port for this.
No
Or
display
whatever.
port.
There's no display port. No, it's a 10-year-old.
Okay.
I'm
So
back.
you're gonna. There are adapters that you can buy for this DVI
How do you
to
feel
DisplayPort.
inside, Braden? How do you feel? How do your insides feel? Do they feel violated?
Oh, weird.
Do they feel good?
The game's back.
Oh, weird. The game's back.
I hope there's like a dude comment. There's definitely an icon in the bottom right.
But the war between your kind and mine will never
So wait, how much you lost everything?
He lost everything.
Banishment in the demon dimension
I'm gonna hit
also
start stream. Are you
ensures
okay,
our
Brent?
immortality.
You're definitely watching the end of the game right now.
Should I know who this dude is? Has he appeared in this game before now?
Banishment again. I will be waiting.
Moby.
You know, like from the Marvel universe.
You will not live that
Wait,
long.
you're not actually gonna finish the
I have
game?
lived long enough.
Lost 2 hours of progress. I don't blame him. That middle slog.
You literally know that someone is going to be in your chat every single day. I'm not going to be that person.
I mean, I know who that person is, and I can mute him if that becomes a problem.
That person is literally going to yell in your ear,
Uma,
non-stop.
what was it she said to me in that
Oh, look at
fateful
this
moment
tower.
when
You
she
never
took from me
finished,
the Nexus Stone?
Blood Omen 2.
That's fine. Just be an adult and say okay. So
How would my rule differ from that of the Sarafan
Let me
Lord?
get,
If you had
Cascade
lived,
up and
Uma,
running.
you would have learned the
I'm
difference.
gonna
You should have trusted me.
Bye-bye.
You gotta-
cleaning up.
The war
So was that
over.
actually Morbius?
And yet, there was another battle
Yeah.
to be fought.
Are you gonna?
The cruel masters of
Are you gonna
Nosgoth,
stream
the
RE4
Sarafan, now
next?
leaderless, still
You're just gonna
I mean,
chill out for the night.
RE4 doesn't unlock for another hour
Oh,
and
hey,
15
OBS
minutes.
There were cities to be rebuilt, and order
Let's,
to be
y'all,
restored.
I'll figure out
The new
the
rule.
installing
My
of Windows in a
rule
bit,
would then
but
begin.
I gotta bounce
The
for a bit.
victor
at
go the
least.
spoils.
Sleep
gotta-
well, eat
At
well.
last,
I love you.
Nosgoth
Talk to you later.
would be
Bye.
mine.
Oh, look, I beat the video game.
I'm
Legacy
also
of
gonna
Kain,
Okay.
Blood Omen 2.
All right, now play the credits. A YouTube video of the credits.
No, oh, whoops, how'd this get here? Just VTuber Rex, that's, anyway.
Oh, fuck.
I'm not playing this
just
game anymore.
Understandable.
Restore.
Hey,
In fact, I would say
Ugh.
I would rather not.
I want you to know, Braden. I have said some really mean-spirited, terrible things about you. I do not expect you to make up for your 2 hours lost. I will never give you a hard time. Now, I think you have come to terms with the fact that when you start playing RE4, I'm going to say wonderful facts about Mist, but I will not expect you to play Blood Omen 2. See? I am a friend.
Yeah.
I'm a friend. A true friend. Right. Let's take the seed plant. No, take. Don't eat the flowers, dipshit. Walk west. Let's walk west again. Oh, furries.
Alright, well.
One of the nuts pulls away from its stalk rather easily, leaving behind a hole in a shell where the stalk was attached. 5 points. Oh, I could put something in this hole, huh?
Thanks everyone for
let's
watching.
Take a shell. Take a
Glad
shell.
you could see me beat this video game.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, and now I can play Defiance.
And anyone who expects you to beat this game twice is that's cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah. So there's actually a code in the game that lets you start with the Soul Reaver,